Hello, everyone. A very good noon to all of you. I hope I'm clearly visible and audible. So, I welcome you to this session MAHCET 100 Most Expected Verbal Reasoning Questions. Today, we'll talk about verbal reasoning. Okay, I had a session in the last lab with you on verbal reasoning yesterday, and I felt that we needed to do some more questions of this type. Moreover, today at 3 p.m., we have a vocabulary and grammar session. So, I thought to do some verbal reasoning questions for now. Okay. Hi, Binita. Hello, Yogita. Good noon. Hi, Soni. Hello, Aditya. Good noon. Hi, Rajput, Anshuman, Karuna. A very good noon to all of you. So, how many of you felt the earthquake tremors yesterday? Hello, General Manager. So, people from North India must have felt it yesterday, yes? Good noon, Sneha. Hi, Sahiba. All right. So you know what our agenda is. I don't need to repeat it for you. This series has been going on for quite some time now, right? Today is the eighth part, and we try to see the approach to various questions that can be asked from us in the MHCT exam, and of course, we practice some questions, right? That is the agenda. Hi, John T. Hello, Shubham. Yes, I also felt it. Right, I also felt the tremors in North India. Yes. Okay, Karuna. But that's something that's ongoing, right? Yes, it wasn't near Maharashtra. Okay. All right. So let's talk about some verbal reasoning questions today. As I told you, your first question here is a course of action question. Yesterday, I told you that while attempting such questions, you should take care of the fact that your actions, the course of actions that you suggest, they are not extreme given the situation. They address the problem given in the situation. They are feasible and practical, implementable. They are ethical. Okay. And of course, they don't solve some minor problems around the main problem, but actually address the problem itself. So let's see which one of these logically follow from the given statement. Yes. Sony, it is preferable that you reach at the time which is written in your admit card. Okay, I understand it's too early, but it is always preferred that you try to reach at least at that time. Okay, because although it's morning time, so you won't probably face much traffic, but we should always account for such situations, such extreme situations, right? Good afternoon, Chetan, Vanchika. Yes, let's see who answers this the fastest. Okay, so John T says B. Yogita A. All right. What about other students? Okay. C also I've got. All right. Okay. 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 A, B, C, E. So you, okay, nobody says D, right? See, here in all these courses of action, I am talking about poor rural areas only. Why? Because in none of these courses of action do I mention the area, poor rural areas, right? I don't mention this term. So some students reject too, thinking that, okay, this is more general. It is probably generalizing it to other areas also. But yes, these are the ones that are going to solve the problem. However, here also I haven't written this, no, that it is specifically about poor rural areas. So all of these three talk about poor rural areas only because in none of them have I mentioned the term poor rural areas. Now, public awareness program on primary education should be expanded immediately to educate parents in poor rural areas. So yes, one follows, it's logical because they're supporting their parents in income earning activities, and that's why they're dropping out of school. So educating parents will help to attract them back to school. Similarly, 3 also works because law on universal education and ban on child labor, when we make it more rigorous, we'll be able to nab such people who are making children work in these poor rural areas, right? So 1 and 3 pretty logical, and that's why a lot of you say C. However, what's wrong with 2? Monetary incentives. See, what is the reason behind these children dropping out of school? The fact that these regions have poor people and therefore they want to support their parents in income earning activities. So I think it's a very practical measure that you provide some monetary incentives to these poor parents for sending their children to school, right? When you provide them with these monetary incentives, they will probably not make their children drop out to engage in income earning activities, right? So 1, 2 and 3 all follow here. Okay, even though 2 looks like it probably is incentivizing people unnecessarily, but look at the context. We are particularly talking about poor rural areas where children are dropping out to support their parents in income earning activities. So it's a very economic statement there. I hope this makes sense. All of the courses of action are logical here. In fact, if you are aware of this, so for instance, our domestic worker, back when I was a child, so our domestic worker told me that she used to get, 500 rupees per month for sending her children to school. So this scheme was there in place by the government. I don't know if it's in place any longer or not, but it was in place, right? Just to incentivize people from low income backgrounds to send their children to school. Okay, all right. So E is the answer here. So the student chooses, I understand that that's a possibility, right? But here the reason that is extended to us is that they are supporting their parents in income earning activities. That is the reason why they are not going. Okay. So whether they're interested in education or not, I don't know this, so I can't assume this. Okay. All right. Let's have a look at this question here. Let's see what you say. So I hope everybody has joined by now. We have just done one question so far. Happy Gudi Padwa to everyone. Yes. We have to suggest what should be done to solve a problem or to address a problem, Yogita. That is the course of action. So I think we were discussing this, uh, whether a student should reach at 7:30 or not. Yes, we were just discussing it with Sony. All right. So C is what you say. Okay, A. One follows. He should be allowed to write the exam, as he could not do anything about the traffic. He could have done something about the traffic. So what did I suggest to Sony? That see, you might get traffic, although it's unlikely, but you might get traffic. So to account for that, okay, you should start from your home early and you should reach at the time which is written in your admit card, right? So you should try to reach at that time. So one does not follow those who are saying A. It is C, neither follows. Okay, so this reasoning is not correct as he could not do anything about the traffic. Yes, he could have done something about the traffic. He could have left early. Okay, so one does not follow. And moreover, see here, you can see you can take the clue from what actually happens in an exam situation. If you are late, no matter for what reason, in a national exam, then I don't think anybody is allowed to write the exam. Okay, so you could have taken that clue from there as well. So C is the answer here. Neither follows. Two follows. Okay, all right. Ethical. It's a very ethical course of action. I agree with you. Two should follow. Okay, so C is the answer here. Now, Let's have a look at a cause effect question here. Two statements are given to you. You have to tell me whether there exists any relationship between them, and if it does, which is the cause, which is the effect. If there is no relationship, then these two possibilities usually exist, that they are independent causes. That means they are separate causes leading to some separate effects. Okay, right. If they are independent effects, that means they are effects of some different causes. So here they are even E2, okay, and they are the effects of some independent causes. What does E mean? If both the statements are effects of a common cause, that means one common cause led to first statement and led to the second statement. That is what it means. One common cause, I'm sorry. Okay, common cause. So these are the meanings of these options. Let's see what you say here. Yes, a sports related question. Oh, I've got some answers already. E, A, okay. D, okay. E, A, E. E, A and D, that's what I've got. So what is the common cause? Those couple of students who are saying E, what is the common cause here? I don't see any common cause as such that is leading to both these effects. Yes, something that resulted in outstanding batting of openers as well as India's winning the third ODI. So, because see, this is dependent on these two openers, on the Indian side, and that too on these two openers, right? Whereas this second outcome is dependent not just on the way India played, but also on the way South Africa played, right? On the way and there are several other factors also, but minimum it is dependent on South Africa's uh, play also, isn't it? So I don't see any common cause that's leading to both these effects. This is a very India dependent or these two player dependent statement, and this is dependent on both the teams, both the countries, right? So those who are saying E, no. Now it comes down to D and A. I understand, but again, tell me something. Can the batting of just two players, can this be the conclusive reason for a country's winning a match against another team by 48 runs? Yes. Isn't it incomplete information? I also need to know how the other players played, how South Africa played. So, this is not sufficient in itself. Okay. And therefore, we cannot say that this is the cause and this is the effect. Okay. Because South Africa की कुछ बातें नहीं हुई statement 1 में. So that means they are independent effects and D Delhi is the answer. Yes, correct Yogita. So D Delhi is the answer, and I'm really happy that quite a few of you said D. Okay, let's see another question. And now again the options are the same. So independent causes, cause effect. This is independent effects. Okay, independent effects, then effects of a common cause, and two is the cause, one is the effect. Let's see what you say here. Thank you, Rajdeep, but I don't think I said anything. We didn't do anything much about English today. We are doing reasoning. So I think the appropriate compliment would be that my reasoning is good. No, you have to see, are these two statements related? That's the first step. Are they related? If they are not related, then the answer is either this, independent causes, or independent effects. Mostly the answer is independent effects in this case, because it is very difficult to demonstrate that two statements are independent causes. It's very difficult to demonstrate that unless my statement uses some specific keywords that clearly show me, okay, this is a cause and not an effect. So if they are not related, then 99.9% of the time C is the answer. Okay, independent effects. If they are related, then you have to figure out three things. Is there a, in fact, two things I would say. Is there a direct cause effect relationship? Okay, one is the cause, the other is the effect. If not, then you have to figure this out. Is it that they are effects of a common cause? So this is how you proceed in this question. Okay. All right. So those who say E, 2 is the cause and 1 is its effect. Why? Parag, you are currently on BYJU'S CAT and MBA YouTube channel. Okay. E, C, B. What are the keywords? So for instance, Sharvari, I specifically write the reason is that. Okay, I use words such as because, since, right? So such keywords. B, C, A, E. Okay. All right. So look here. This is a very interesting question. And in fact, it's a question that I do every year with aspirants. Okay. So first says the CM of Haryana has instructed the Haryana state universities to revamp their curriculum to improve the students' employability. Okay. Second says majority of the youth employed in Haryana comes from other states. Okay. So if you say two is the cause and one is the effect, see, majority of the youth employed in Haryana comes from other states will not really be a problem for the CM unless Haryana's own youth is unemployed. Unless Haryana's own youth is unemployed. To take a very practical example, a lot of people from a lot of cities work in Gurgaon, Haryana, Gurugram, Haryana, right? Now, that's not really a problem for the Haryana government because it's not that its own youth is deprived of employment opportunities because of that. So, as long as its own youth is not deprived of employment opportunities, it's not really a problem for the CM, right? So, this leading to this, it's not a direct cause effect relationship. This two will lead to one only when Haryana's own youth is unemployed. So actually, there is no direct cause effect relationship here. B and E are not the answers. But yes, there is a common cause here. So here comes a common cause question. The common cause is that Haryana's youth is unemployed. So because of that is not employable actually, not just unemployed, they're not employable. They don't have the requisite skills. So because of this, the result is that majority of the youth employed in Haryana comes from other states. Okay, and because of this, because they're not employable, that has led to the CM instructing the Haryana state universities to revamping their curriculum. You get it? So that's why it's the effect of a common, they are effects of a common cause. D Delhi is the answer here. So I hope this is clear to you. Let me see. Some of you did say D right in the beginning. Rushi said D. Prakriti said D. Good, good, good. Others also. Tejas. Okay. They are not employable. They are not employable. Yes. So, Om, you are saying 2 is the cause in that case. But 2 does not talk about the youth of Haryana. Does 2 talk about the youth of Haryana? No. So, how can you say 2 is the cause? Right? So D Delhi is the answer here. So this was a question that required some thought. Okay. And therefore, you should make this connection. What is 2 talking about? It is talking about youth outside Haryana. Whereas what is 1 talking about? It is talking about the youth of Haryana. Okay. So not talking about the same things, but they seem to be related. That means most likely D is the answer. Okay. All right. So Bindya, is it clear now? They seemed to be related, but both the statements were talking about youth from different places. One talked about Haryana's youth, whereas two talked about youth outside Haryana. So they were not directly related. There was not a direct cause effect relationship. Okay. Now, some of you insisted on these questions, strong or weak arguments. Although last year, I don't think we had strong weak argument questions in MAHCT, yet they can come. Okay. Now, what are the questions that you should ask yourself when you encounter this question type? Okay, so basically, how this question type looks like, let me show you. A statement is given to you, then two, three, four arguments are presented, and you have to decide which of these arguments is strong. Okay. Now, when solving this question, don't overthink a lot. That would be my first suggestion. The first check that you should make is the argument answering the question or addressing the problem that is given in the statement? It has to be related to the statement, yes? That's the first thing that you check. Is it actually answering? So, usually a question is raised in the statement or an issue is presented. So, is it trying to address that? Okay. Is it related to that? Then is it whatever it says, is it an important consideration, or is it talking about some minor trivial issues not related to the problem? So whatever it says should have an important impact. Of course it has to be logical, it can't be judgmental, it can't be biased, it can't be something that is not feasible at all, right? It has to be logical. And yes, you have to look at these arguments independently. Don't compare these two arguments that, oh, this is better, so this is strong, this is weak. That's not how it works. Look at them independently. So if you just apply these basic checks and don't argue a lot with the argument, that's what a lot of students do. They keep on overthinking, they'll extrapolate it to the Indian scenario. If, of course, India is mentioned, do that. But if India is not mentioned, you can't just extrapolate. Don't use your general knowledge. Okay, just use your common sense and whether it is related, it is important, it is logical or not. These checks, right? So let's attempt this. Tell me what should be the answer here. Okay. So I can see that both my arguments are trying to answer the question, they are addressing the problem, they are presenting reasons also, right? Now decide, are these important considerations or are they not? All right. So why do you think that neither is strong? Both the statements are negative. It says, yes, the government should ban the production of local Indian liquors as they do not comply with the norms of the Bureau of Indian Standards and can prove fatal. They can lead to death. Isn't that an important consideration? If something can lead to people's death, then a ban on it is called for. Yes. So it does not comply with the norms of BIS and it can prove fatal. This is an important consideration. And so imagine yourself as a judge in a courtroom, okay, and you are deciding on this matter. Now, if the lawyer makes this argument, would it not make you think, oh yes, this can actually prove deadly to for people. So probably a ban is called for. It will make you think, right? So if it is that kind of an argument, it is a strong argument. Okay, those who say A and not B, as in the second one, no, this will increase illicit liquor trade. This means banning the production of local Indian liquors. It will increase illegal liquor trade. Okay, so addressing the problem, first check completed. Is it an important consideration if the illegal liquor trade increases? Is it an important consideration that you would take into account while banning something? Tell me. Alcohol is not deadly in the sense that it can lead to immediate death. It is bad for your health. It is harmful for your health. So there's a difference between deadly and harmful for health. Okay. So this will increase illegal liquor trade. अच्छा मुझे बस इतना बताओ, is this an important consideration or not? When we take a measure, we consider the fallouts, we consider the consequences of that measure also, isn't it? So if by banning this, it increases illegal liquor trade, first of all, my problem is not solved. The purpose of ban is not fulfilled, right? I might have as well not banned the production of local Indian liquors. Secondly, another illegal activity starts. So this again is an important consideration. So I was surprised that a lot of you said D in the beginning. Both the arguments are strong. Okay. Both of them are addressing the question of the ban. Both of them are presenting considerations that you will consider, okay, while taking this measure. Oh, it is deadly, I should ban it. Okay, but then it will lead to another problem, and this will defeat the purpose of the ban also. So in that case, I should not ban it. Both are important, both are strong. Okay, I hope this makes sense. E, both are strong. All right. Let's look at another question. Probably this should help in getting a hang of these questions. Should testing of cosmetics on animals be stopped? This is your question. Tell me. Okay. Welcome, Bindya. A. Okay. So XYZ, now here comes my personal opinion. You are right, okay. So I might be of the view that banning is against the liberty of an individual. So why ban anything for that matter? In that case, banning smoking in public is also wrong. Yes. So now that is my personal opinion. That's my worldview. But that should not come into the picture when I'm logically evaluating arguments. Right? A for Agra. Okay. A, C. All right. So those who say both are strong, the second give a reason. Tell me. Testing of cosmetics on animals is unacceptable. Why? Does it give a reason? Why is it unacceptable? This is just a judgment, an opinion without any reasons. I need reasons here. Okay. There were very concrete reasons in the previous question, weren't there? Now, this is a concrete reason. Sorry. Many cosmetics lead to disabilities in animals. So that's an important consideration. See, something that proves to be deadly for humans, something that leads to disabilities in not just humans but various organisms, right? Something that economically harms people. These are all important considerations to take into account while taking any decision. So, first is a strong argument, but second does not give a reason as to why it is unacceptable. It is judgmental and it is vague, and that's why A is our answer. Okay. All right. Yes, Om, I just corrected it. It should be is. Testing of cosmetics on animals is unacceptable. That was a typo. Okay, now let's look at this question. Now here we have more than two arguments, right? So this is your statement. These are your arguments. Tell me which of them is or are strong. Yash, have you seen the movie Karan Arjun? CMAT के सेशंस करण अर्जुन जैसे हो गए, बट आएंगे वो भी, डोंट वरी. B. All right. A. Okay. B. Okay. C. All right. So this is an interesting combination, D and E. See, none is strong means 1, 2, 3, 4 all are weak. That is what it means. None of these means none of these combinations that are given in A, B and C. Actually, I should have placed none of these in option D. So none of these means ये combinations में ये सही नहीं है. That is what it means. Okay. So there's a difference between none is correct and none of the above. That's what I wanted to emphasize through these options. Okay, A, B, C, all right, pretty much everything. Let's have a look. See, the moment I read this question, I felt that 3 is something that is strong. Okay, about this, I was absolutely sure. I'm sure that a lot of you also came to the same conclusion. It will speed up work and all the pending jobs can be completed well in time. This is something that is addressing the situation also. It is talking about holidays of government employees being reduced. This will have that impact. It is something that is desirable also. It's an important consideration also, speeding up work and completing all the pending jobs in time. So 3 is a strong argument. The moment I realized this, I also realized that none is strong is incorrect. That's it. That's the only thing I realized. Now let's look at 1. This is a bad way of arguing. In your life also, when you say, oh, but other countries have fewer holidays, other countries can have different circumstances than your countries, yes? So you can't compare your country to other countries unless their circumstances are very similar. So this is called an analogical argument. Analogical arguments work only when the things that you are comparing, they are very similar to each other. Otherwise, they don't work. Right. So, for instance, if I say that, let's say, um, education of women should be banned in India because it has been banned in Taliban, in Afghanistan, I'm sorry. So, education of women should be banned in India because it has been banned in Afghanistan. So, analogical argument, first of all. Okay. Also, look at the situation, how different it is. We are a democracy here, right? Secondly, it is something that will harm a lot of people. So, anyway, a weak argument. You get it? So you have to evaluate an analogical argument in terms of does what it say make sense? And secondly, are the things that are being compared, are they similar to each other or not? So first, a weak argument. The moment you realize this, you have solved the question. B is the answer here. Only 3 is strong. Okay. Now, 4, some of you, yes. Let's have a look at this. Let's have a look at this. Some of you must feel that 4th is also strong, and therefore the answer can be none of the above. Right? Is 4 strong though? Employees must be given ample spare time to spend with their family. Now, if an employee gets more holidays, is it necessary that they are spent with his or her family? Then to spend time with family, the family should also have time, right? Also, this is more of a work-life balance argument, which is something that is provided by your Saturdays and Sundays, by the time that you spend at home. So this is not directly related to the holidays of government employees. Okay, because there are a lot of factors here. To spend time with family, family should also have time. Okay, then this is a work-life balance argument, and it's not necessary that the employee will use the holidays to spend time with family. I hope this makes sense, and therefore only 3 strong is the answer, right? We do not have to compare these statements, okay, and we just have to evaluate each of them independently. This is again a very judgmental, opinionated argument. Why carry it further? It's a British legacy. See, a lot of things that we follow were given by the Britishers, but if they make sense for us, if they are good for us, then we should follow them. Okay, so the person should have given some disadvantage here of reducing, of higher number of holidays. ठीक है? All right. So B Bangalore is the answer. I hope so far things are clear to you. Cause effect questions clear. Strong weak arguments. Course of action, are they clear? Any query, please ask. Okay. All right. Now let's look at statement assumption questions. Now, in such questions, a statement is given to you. It's not a full-fledged argument. It is simply a statement. And you are given some more statements after it. You have to tell me which of these assumptions are implicit. Okay. That means which of them are necessary for this statement to hold true. Tell me what the answer should be. Yes, Yogita. So yesterday when I was creating this session, I asked my spouse about it, and he's a government employee. So he said, I can't answer it in an unbiased manner. Don't ask me such questions. So actually, it's a normal human tendency. Okay. So tell me which of the assumptions is implicit? Okay. Prakriti says C. Atarangi says C. See, there are funny jokes and then there are jokes in poor taste. And I'm sure you're mature to differentiate between the two. Yes? C, B, all right. I think Harry, you mean to say E. D. Okay. All right. C, B, D. Okay. Cannot be determined. Okay. The sign has no meaning if placed inside the studio. Of course, the person who has placed the sign outside the studio thinks that. Otherwise, this person would not place the sign outside the studio. Moreover, the sign talks about leaving your footwear outside. So, yes, one is implicit. And yes, second is also implicit because if the person placing the sign does not think that people are capable of doing both the actions, then he or she would not place the sign. Yes, he or she would resort to some other alternative. So both are implicit here. C is the answer. Okay, I hope this makes sense. Why it is C and not the other options? Okay. B, people who marked B, D, hope it is clear. In assumptions, always think from the point of view of the doer of the action, right? So here, think from the point of view of the person placing the sign in outside a studio. Think that you are the person placing a sign outside a studio. So when would you place it outside? Okay, and when would you write this instruction? Okay, when you think that if placed inside the studio, this will not have any meaning. So let me place it outside. Okay, and of course, you have this assumption, otherwise, you won't take the action. Okay, let's have a look at this. This is the statement, these are the assumptions. By staying quiet, Rohan. B, D. But will they be able to leave their footwear outside, Ajay? Once they've stepped inside, okay, isn't the purpose defeated then? Parajumbles. Oh, we have a session on parajumbles tomorrow at 12. Okay. So the entire session is on parajumbles, so you need not worry. All right. So you say that only the second one follows. Does it? Uh, be humble even after gaining victory. If many people are humble after gaining victory, then would you say this be humble even after gaining victory? If this holds true, then you would not make this statement. Then there will be no need of making this statement. Yes. So one is contradicting my statement. Assumptions never contradict statements, right? So one is not implicit. All right. Now, Generally, people are not humble. This should have said after gaining victory. Generally, people are not humble after gaining victory. If I said that, then yes, to would be implicit. But right now it is not, because I am not talking about general circumstances. I am talking about circumstances after gaining victory. So, to is not implicit either. The answer is D, Delhi. Neither follows. Okay. How many of you said D? Okay, I've got a lot of Bangladesh, Bandra, and Bangalore. Uh, okay, yeah, some of you did say D. Neha, Ruchi, Jasuman. Good, good, good. Perfect. Neither follows. Please pay attention to each and every word in a statement assumption question. Each and every word matters here, right? We are not talking about general scenarios, general circumstances there. We are talking about what happens to people after gaining victory. Okay, let's have a look at some statement conclusion questions. All right. Again, a sports question. Okay. So E, D. All right. Okay. A, B. So except C, pretty much everything. Okay, those are saying either one or two follows. Okay. A, B, D. All right. Fine. Let's discuss this. In a one-day cricket match, the total runs made by a team were 235. Out of these, 188 runs were made by spinners. Okay. Fine. These two statements, I have processed them. Now I have to conclude something on the basis of both of them. Do I know the composition of the team from these two statements? What percentage of the team consists of spinners? I don't. Maybe let's say there were just four spinners, but they played really well. Yes. So I can't say 80% of the team consists of spinners. The opening batters were spinners. Even this is not necessary. So neither follows. It's not an either or situation also. Either or situation means that if one doesn't follow, two has to necessarily follow. And if two doesn't follow, one has to necessarily follow. But neither of them is actually necessary. Okay, so probably there were four spinners and they came, let's say, at the third position, fourth position. They were not the opening batters either. Then also we could actually achieve these outcomes. Okay, so neither follows here. All right. Let's have another sports related question. Okay, in the spirit of the match that is going to happen today. Okay. D, C, A. All right. All right. Shivam says C. Okay. B. So C, D, E. All right. But a lot of C's. Only two follows. So all those people who claim to be, sports enthusiasts, sports aficionados, um, Rahul won the man of the match award. in the T20 tournament. Okay, I think these days we call it player of the match. Now we have started calling it player of the match. Uh, Conclusion one says Rahul is a talented and hardworking player. No, it could be his lucky day. Yeah. So a talented and hardworking player. See, I cannot conclude anything that is not implied by my statement. My statement does not talk about how he played or how much he is practiced for the match. So how can I conclude whether he is talented or hardworking? So conclusion one, no. Okay. Conclusion 2. He scored the highest number of runs. Is the player of the match trophy given only to batters? Those who score the highest number of runs? Yes. Tell me this. All the sports aficionados here. Anji. बताओ आंसर दो. Rohit Sharma. Okay, all right. All right. This does not answer my question. So, Rahul scored the highest number of runs is not necessary. Maybe he took the most number of wickets. Okay. So neither follows. D. Delhi is the answer. See, always look at these questions from this lens. Conclude only those things can be conclusions if if something related to them has been discussed in the statement. We haven't discussed how many runs he scored. We haven't discussed that he is a batter. We haven't discussed how much he practiced for the match. We haven't discussed his past record. Nothing. So neither can be concluded. Okay, just stick to the statement. Okay. All right. So I hope this is clear to us. Maybe scenarios conclusion nahi hota na. See, I understand that you must be thinking, but this could be true, right? This could be a possibility. We don't look at if it's a maybe situation, then we can't conclude it. It has to be true based on the statement. Okay, not maybe true. All right. So I hope this session helped you. Yes. So we have with this, we have covered all the verbal reasoning question types. So in yesterday's session, I covered some types. Today, I have covered some with you. And in another CET 100 most expected, we again discuss some verbal reasoning questions. So I hope this gives you a hang of how to approach various question types. Keep those instructions that I gave you before strong weak arguments in mind, before course of action. Keep those instructions in mind, and that should help. Okay, and please do not argue with the argument in a strong weak argument question. Okay, if always keep this in mind that a logically sound argument is always hard to refute. So just don't apply a lot of your external knowledge there, a lot of your general knowledge there, situational knowledge there. Just see, does it appear to be logically sound argument? Okay, then it is a strong argument. If it's addressing the problem, if it is logically sound. Okay. So these are our CAT 22 toppers. You can see them, right? I'm sure by now you're familiar with the faces. And in case you want to be in that place in this slide next year, then you can join our comprehensive program, right? A lot of features available, a lot of things offered to you. So you can check out the link in the description box. And to make these accessible, we keep conducting scholarship tests. So the next one is on the 1st of April at 7 p.m. If you perform well, then you can get up to a 90% scholarship. And see, students have won scholarships in the past. Okay. Also, in case you are confused about your CAT test taking strategy, you want to take it but you're confused, then to dispel all your confusions, we have a workshop at 7 p.m. on 25th. Okay. So do join it. You have to register for it in advance. This is going on. I'll see you at 5 p.m. today and we will discuss some vocabulary and grammar questions. I have again tried to cover all vocabulary question types, most of the grammar. I've touched upon various concepts. Of course, it's not possible to cover all the grammar rules in one session, but I've covered varied concepts. Okay, so see you at 5. And yes, after the exam, do join us for the analysis. It will happen on the 25th and 26th. And we'll come up with question discussion also. Okay. This is a daily quiz that is available in our app. So it will help all the MAHCET and CMAT aspirants. Vocabulary, on some days it's VRC, on some days it's LRDI, on some days it's Quant. Right. So do download the app. I am sure you've subscribed to the channel. If you haven't, then do it right now. And Hope you've liked the session also. We are everywhere on social media, so you can like, subscribe, share. Okay. All right then. Welcome, guys. Welcome. Good to know that you like the session. And yes, anything that I missed out? Great, Ajay. Great. That's the spirit. That's the attitude with which you should go to take the exam. Okay. Thank you, Jasuman. Thank you so much. And welcome, guys. Welcome. Yes, sure, Kiran. We have a last minute tip session, okay? Day before the exam. So I will talk to you about various instructions and everything. Okay. All right then. Bye bye. See you.